Hello, everybody. If you are watching this video, that means you got to the point in Step Forward Academy course or class, program, I should say, where you're at the money class, the finance class, the personal finance 101. We're going to start laying the foundation about money, foundation about how to step your life forward, hence the name of the program, Step Forward Academy. It's very intentional. We want to step you forward in life. So we're going to talk about the magic of money. Yes, money has magic. This is awesome. Who knew? I did. So I'm going to share it with you, the money and magic. So I'm Randa Hoffman. I'm the founder of Radiant Wealth Planning and Radiant Tax Services, financial planner, investment manager, and I'm a tax nerd. I love taxes, anything money related, making money, saving money, growing money. That's me. I love money. Okay, let's talk about you. Now, this is the energy of money. Yes, money has energy. What does that even mean? So it means that if I gave you a situation, if I tell you a story related to money, how do you feel about that? And based on how you feel is the energy connected to money. So what I mean, let me give you an example about what I mean. If I gave you a story about money and you got a pit in your stomach or your chest tightened up or you got excited or you got happy, whatever that emotion is tied to the money story is how your energy is tied to the money story. And so if you have a negative reaction to the money story, or if you're holding on and desperately need more money, then guess what? It doesn't happen. Why is that? Because the energy in the story that's connected to money is a negative one or on the least favorable side. We want to start switching that. It's a slow shift. It's a slow shift, but it's a shift. And that's what we want. We want to start shifting how you feel about money because I want you to make more money. I want you to really progress your life into whatever it is important to you, whatever it is that fulfills you, whatever that is that gives you that passion and zest for life. So that's what Step Forward Academy is doing. We want to take you to the next level. Okay. So money likes to be managed. It really does. We don't want to have just kind of willy-nilly concept about our money. We want to know I get this much in, this is how much I go out, I know where it's going, and I know what I'm doing next. So it likes to be managed. Money is not the root of all evil. If you believe that, let's start shifting it because it's not. Money is just a magnifying glass of how people are. So if you're a naturally generous person, when you have more money, you're going to be even more generous. If you see a person that's very stingy with their money, when they have more money, guess what? They're just as stingy. They don't now become freely giving, and it doesn't happen like that. So it's just a magnifying glass of who you really are. Okay, so make sure you're a good person because your money is going to magnify that. Okay, and saying the word rich and saying the word money is not a bad thing. I think we have this negative thing, and I think it's the media. I don't know where it comes from, but oh, being rich, those rich people, let's start changing that. I know a lot of rich people that are amazing people. They're so grounded, they're so humble, they're so kind, they're so normal. They're so normal. And guess what? They do a lot to the community. They support the community in a lot of ways. So let's start shifting how you feel about the money, how the energy about the money. Let's start shifting it. So you don't have that negative reaction, that pit in your stomach, that tightness in your chest, that, oh, I need it, that needing it. Okay, let's start just shifting a little. And when you notice you have those feelings, just take a deep breath. Okay, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. That's all you have to say. I'm working on it. I'm improving my life one step at a time. Okay, because that's really how change happens, one step at a time. So we're going to go through this program. Everybody is going to be at a different phase wherever they're at in their life. And so different parts of the program is going to resonate with you. The most important thing is that you come back to this when you're at a different phase in your life. So then you can apply different parts of it. So I'm just going to give you all parts, and wherever you are, you pick it up wherever you are. Okay. This is also what I do for new clients. So when I onboard a new client on Radiant Wealth Planning, this is what we do. So I'm going to teach you exactly the same thing that I do. So we're going to talk about, first step is your current situation. We have to know where we're at to go anywhere we want. And it's like, it's just like a road trip in this picture. If you want to go from California to Florida, you have to know that you're first in California to get to Florida, right? You can't just get to Florida without knowing that you're in California. So we have to know our current situation. And that's all it is. It's just a pen on the map. That's all it is, your current situation. It's just a pen where you're at in life. Next, we're going to talk about your goals. What do you want to accomplish? We need to have a goal. Where are we focusing? Where are we going? We have to have that. Otherwise, just life is going to happen, and we're going to wake up 20 years from now and be like, oh, I guess nothing happened. Well, did you have a goal? Were you working towards your goal? Were you tenacious? Did you have grit? Did you keep working on it? That's what that is. Did you keep working on it? Regardless of when it accomplishes. Your goal can accomplish in next month, could accomplish next year, could accomplish in 5 years. Keep working towards it. And there's things along the way that we have to account for, okay? So let's start with your current situation. So your current situation isn't here to make you feel bad or create fear or worry. So like I said, if you start having these feelings, just stop, take a deep breath, and say, I'm just doing this so I can have a better life. This is why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this so I'm not beating myself up, because when you feel fear or worry, it's you're beating yourself up. So don't do that, okay? Don't say, oh, nobody's in this situation except for me. Why am I the only one in this situation? I should be better off based on, I'm X age and I should be better off because this is how old I am. And whatever your story is, there's a story. And I promise you there's a story that your mind is playing. So whatever that story is, pause, put it on the shelf and say, thank you, story. But not right now, because I'm changing my life one step at a time. And this is my one step today. Okay. So that's what you're doing. It is the ability to create better decisions. So like I said, if we want to create those goals, we need to know where we're at right now so we can make those better decisions to getting to those goals. Okay. And your money it should be given in a job. So we do want to tell your money what to do, as opposed to just it gets spent. Do you know where it's going? Do you know why you're spending it towards this? Does it bring you any joy? Does it fulfill a need? Or is it just spending, like mindless? We don't want that, okay? And where you're at right now, your current situation doesn't determine your future. Really, 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 really doesn't. Really doesn't. Even if your current situation has been the same for the last 20 years, I don't care. As long as you're doing little steps, that's what changes the future. Okay. So if you're not going to do anything, then yes, your next year, next 5 years is going to be the same as your current. We don't want that. That's why you're in the program, because you don't want that. You're kind of like over that. You're like, I lived this life. I'm done. I really want to do better. I really want to get to this. I really want to live this kind of way. I really just want to do better for myself. So you have to work on it. Okay. It's not a light switch. You're not going to wake up one day and you're just going to have a better life. Sorry, this is not going to happen like that. You do have to work on it. So the best preparation for tomorrow is doing the best today. So we're going to do one little step today to tomorrow, the day after, every day, one little step, and you're going to keep moving your life forward. So let's start with the current. In the current, you're going to get this Excel sheet. It's called a money tracker. Intentionally, it's called a money tracker, not a budget. Okay, it's very intentional. A budget has a negative feeling for a lot of people. It just doesn't feel right. So we just want to track the money. We want to know what's coming in and what's going out. So the budget has three categories. Sorry, the money tracker has three categories. Has an income category, has expenses, which are fixed, has expenses that are variable. So we're going to go through all three. So on the income, it's important to track the money that comes into your account. That's called net income. I don't care that your hourly wage is $20 an hour, because after you pay your taxes, okay, there's federal, there's Social Security, there's Medicare. After you pay these three, if you have deductions, like a retirement deduction, health insurance deduction, what you get in your account isn't what your salary is or your hourly wages. So it's really important to know what comes into the account, because that's what you're getting, right? That's what you're getting. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put it in here, okay? Salary, take home. If you have other income, you're going to put other income. So let's say your take home is 1,500 and you do Uber and Lyft and all that goodness on the side, and every month you make 500, okay? So let's say your take home is 2,000. Now, I want you to start with 3 months, okay? So wherever we're at, you can change these, if it were in, for example, May, you can start May, June, July, right? August, September, October, right? You could do that way. So it doesn't have to start, January doesn't have to be the first column. So income. So now you know what money is coming in. Okay, we're good. The next category, we're going to look at expenses. We're going to start with fixed expenses because that's an easier thing to track. So we're going to put expenses that are fixed. So every month it's the same amount and it doesn't change. The common one is your rent or your mortgage. So let's say your rent is $700. Okay, $700. So I want you to go through here and find your renter's insurance. Renter's insurance, let's say it's $25. Okay, so go through here and add the fixed expenses. And the reason I'm starting with fixed expenses is because those are things that are really, they come up on the top of the head. We don't have to research them. If I ask you what your car payment is every month, you could tell me, oh, Randa, that's $100 easily, right? So now we can start filling in some gaps. Okay, so I want you to start filling in these gaps. Now, like I said, just start with 3 months. Okay, just do 3 months looking back. So we are now in April. When I'm recording, this is April. So I would do March, January, February, March. So I would do 3 months looking back. Now, why do I want you to do 3 months, not a whole year? Don't do a whole year. You'd hate me for that. So just do 3 months. The reason being is because if there's a month that there's a higher expense in that category, then we can get an average for it. And let me give you an example. If you go to, we're going to put grocery store. Where is our groceries? Here. I'm going to do these 3 months. Okay. And let's say my groceries, I think actually they're $250 a month, because my fun money is higher. I don't cook, but every now and then I go to Costco. And let's say I went to Costco in January, and that was an extra $200. So in January, I spent $450. Now, if I looked at just 1 month back, I wouldn't have taken into account my Costco. But if I looked at only 1 month, then it would look, let's say I only looked at January, then it would look like my groceries always $450, which is not true. So now I get an idea, oh, 1 month it's $4.50, and then usually 2 months I don't go to Costco, but probably the third one I'll go to Costco, on the fourth month I'd go to Costco. So it seems like every 3 months I go to Costco. So then you would fill it in. Okay. And then now I go to Costco. So you see, 1 month doesn't give you a really good example of your spending. But if you do 3 months in history, then you'll get a really good idea of what your pattern is. Now, that's where this variable expense comes in. These are things that change month to month, or they don't happen every month. So the Costco example is the second one. They don't happen every month. So changing month to month. Utilities, your electricity, gas, water, that changes every month. Electricity alone changes every month. If your water is with your rent, then just, water and trash is with your rent, just ignore that. So let's say electricity, January, let's say it's $60. February, it's $60, but March was a really warm month. So you had the AC on, so it went to $80. Okay. So those are variable, but really it wouldn't be like this. It would be like $61. Let's say $67, $86, right? It's going to be like that. Your internet is a fixed expense because it's fixed every month. The amount is fixed. Same thing with cable, fixed. Car insurance. Gas is a variable one, right? So 1 month you might spend $102. The following month in February, you spent $154 because you guys went on a road trip. So you see how this is going to change. Now, because these change, I do not want you to guess. Because if you put garbage numbers in here, meaning it's not a true picture of how your current spending is, then further down, when we get to this part, it's not going to give you the true picture. So garbage in, garbage out. Okay. This is where the work comes in. If you need to split this work across 3 weeks, then split it. But what's the most important thing is that you do the work slow increments every day, because that's how we're going to move your life forward, increments every day. So not only do I want you to do the work, I want you to do it right. Okay. Because I want you to really know what your life looks like so we can move it forward. So you're going to download statements from your bank account. Okay. I'm going to give you 3 ways how you can calculate your variable, because your fixed, they're easy. We don't need to look at bank statements. We know what they are, and they're going to stay the same every month, right? The same every month. So we know it's these groceries and the gas. Those are the big ones that change. So there's 3 ways you can figure out truly how much you spent in the last 3 months. 1, you could download bank statements and kind of put it all in one Excel and kind of sum those up. Okay, I went to Shell, I went to Chevron, I went here, add it all up. And then there you are for the month. Now, if you have a credit card and a bank account and another credit card, you need to get all those expenses, all those transactions, sum all those up. Okay, you can't just take your bank account. So for example, I use one credit card for gas. That's all I use it for, is my gas. So that way I know how much I spend on gas. I use one credit card for groceries. That's all I use. Is if I buy groceries, I put it on this one credit card, and I use one credit card for my fun money. So this is my entertainment money. I'm going to performing arts, going to dinner. So I use this one credit card so I could know how much I'm using every month. Okay. That way I don't have to add it up. Here's another option. The second option is you can calculate how much you spend every month, every day. So on Sunday, let's say you get gas, and you spent $67. You got, let's see, groceries. Let's see, you spent $198. You did fast food. You spent, let's say you spent $25. Okay. So you can add it up daily. And then at the end of the week, just add up all your gas, add up all your groceries, add up all your food. This is really nice view because then you're going to really see how much you spend every day. It's a really good eye opener. You can be like, oh, Mondays, the pattern is on Mondays, we don't spend anything because we just did grocery shopping and no, nothing is going on Monday. But on Fridays, we spend a lot of money on Fridays because it's the end of the week and we want to go out. And so we end up getting pizza and beer and all this. And we go out with friends. That's Friday. So you start seeing patterns. Now, if you're going to add your gas here, you have to add it up. You can't take this 290 and just put it on a category. For example, you can't go, okay, 290, because the 290 isn't just gas, right? In that day, you had fast food and you had groceries. So you have to really add up your gas categories and do it weekly. Okay, so this is a good example. So this is the second option. First option is downloading statements from the account and summing all those up. The second option is tracking what you spend every day, and just really at the end of the day, or if you have this on your computer, just open it up and put it in there. And then at the end of the week, summing up the categories. Groceries, okay, where did I go to the groceries? Here, groceries, and then adding up. The third option, so I created this, it came out of actually another class. We were talking about this. The third option is, here's gas, groceries, eating out, kids, transportation, and empty categories. Okay, so what does this mean? Gas. You went gas, and I put a little calendar, and let's say we're doing it for the previous week. So for 15, you got gas, you did that. And then you got gas. Oh, my little thing is not summing it up. I'll have to fix that. When you guys get it, it's gonna sum it up. Okay. So then it would say $97. So then at the end of the month, okay, you would know that you spent $97. Groceries, you're going to put your groceries in here, right, in the amount, and it will add it up for you. Eating out. Now, if there's a category that I don't have listed, I kept some blank ones. So you could put in here, kids. Okay, let's do gifts, because the kids go and they have a lot of friends, so they go out. So there's a lot of gifts. So a lot of birthday parties going on. So February, there was a birthday party. You had to spend $30. See, and now you can add it up. Okay. So you want to do it. This is only for the month. You want to do it for the month. If you want to do this every 2 weeks, that's even better. Okay. So then you can just add 1 week and then the following week add to it. Okay. So now then you'll have a full month. So that's 3 options. 3 options for you. If you want to, you could do 1 week as a daily, so you can just see what your pattern is for that 1 week. And then the following, you could kind of see by category. Okay. Now, I said I wanted you to look at it in the past, but if we're keeping track of your expenses, it's going to be go forward. That's a tricky one. So go forward. If you want to do this for the next 3 months, that's okay. You could do that as well, but still do it for 3 months. If you have one bank account and it's really easy to add things up from the bank account, then do it, go for the past 3 months. But if you have a lot of bank account, a lot of transactions, if it's going to be a roadblock, if it's going to block you from moving forward, okay, and you're not going to do it at all, and you're like, that's it, I'm just done. Then just do with the tracker, okay, with this tracker, this one or the following one, do it, and you're going to be doing it for go forward the future 3 months, okay? So I hope that makes sense. Now, this here just adds everything up, okay? So it just adds everything up. So what I want you to do, let's say you filled in your 3 months, okay? I want you now, for the future, for the remaining of the year, put the rest of your months in. So we know it's going to be $700 every month. Gas and utilities. Let's see, it just adds it up. I want you to, on the future, you're going to take this. If you see down here, right down here, it says an average. So all I did is I put 3 months in and I highlighted like that. It gives you average. The average is $71. So it took three of these, added it up, which is 214, and divided by 3 to find your average. So then you're going to put 71. If you want to put it a little higher, 71, we know June is higher, you know, for the summer. So maybe you go to 80, 80, 80, 90, right? And then you go back to 71. You want to do that. I want you to put it in as accurately as possible. So this is where the grocery store, where were we talking about here for the grocery store, right? So we went to Costco, we had regular groceries, we had regular groceries. The total is 950 for these 3 months. Your average is 317. But if we didn't take Costco into account, right? If we didn't take Costco into account, your average is 250. But that's not true, because some months we spend a little more. So if you know your pattern, then put your pattern in. So I know that every 3 months, I spend an extra $200. But if you don't know, it's not so easy like that. We saw what the average is, 317. So then you're going to do 317, 317, 317. Okay. You're going to do it that way if you don't know what your pattern is. So what I'm doing is giving you different ways you could do this, because it's going to resonate differently for different people. Some people are like, oh yeah, I know. You know, for example, November, we do Thanksgiving at our house and we know that grocery bill is high. So in November, I'm going to bump it up to 400. In December, there's birthdays and Christmas gifts. I know that's higher than these, you know, if we go to kids' birthdays, I know for December is going to be higher. So I'm going to bump it up to 200. Okay, because there's Christmas gifts in here. I want you to fill this out as accurately and as filled as full as possible. Okay. The reason being is because down here is going to tell you everything you need to know. Okay. Before we get to this, I do want to say, if there's a category that's not listed, you can either replace one of these categories. If you don't use it, feel free to replace it, even though it might not be, you know, transportation. So for example, I don't take public transportation, but let's say I have a credit card payments, right? Even though credit card payments is not in the transportation category, it's okay. It's okay. Just you can use that category. Or if you do want to, you could do is add a row in here. So, okay, you can add a row. I just highlighted one row, right click and insert, and it adds it above. Okay, you could do that as well. So add a row. Cameron is really good at Excel. If you need help with Excel, don't hesitate. Reach out to her. She says all the time, don't hesitate. Make sure you reach out to her. Okay, so now we're understanding what your current is, whether you looked 3 months back or you're going to do it for 3 months as you're, living your life. Okay, so either way, you have 3 months of data. Okay, so now we know what your current situation is. We filled in the blank first, we filled it in go forward. So now we kind of have an idea, okay, this is how much we spent the last 3 months, and this is how much the next year is going to look like. Now, okay, let's go back to here. We want to start adding goals in. A goal could be something that you want a specific, one thing to happen just once, or it could be like for example, in this example, and I'm going to show you how to create goals. This happens just once, okay? A series of 6 cooking classes. Or it could be something that you want to upgrade your life to. Like, for example, I want to get a pay raise, or I want a different job because I want to have higher rent. I want to move, right? Not to have just higher rent, but you want to move to a different, location. So it could be something that lives on like that, an expense that lives on like that, or it could be an expense that's only temporary. So those are kind of, think of goals as, is it a forever thing, or is it just something I need right now? Okay, so think of that kind of goals. So the reason I want you to fill this in all the way, okay, we're going to fill this in all the way, because you're going to come back to here. And let's say I'm in April. So let's say in April, you're going to come back to here and you're like, you know what? By September, I'm going to be doing little increments every month, every day, moving my life forward slowly, 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 so that by September, I get a pay raise, okay? And now I'm taking home $2,000 a month. And that's where your goals start coming in. I want to start taking home $2,000 a month. And then you're going to move that, you're going to shift that over. Okay. And let's say, you know what? And when I get that raise, the following month, October, because that's 1 month, let me just settle in it. Let me get caught up, save a little money. The following month, I want to move to a different location, and the rent is going to be $1,000 a month. So that's going to go up. So that's how you're going to start filling in your goals. So now I said, you got to have a vision of where you want to go, because we're not just going to live life and, I guess let's just wait and see what happens. No. We're going to have a vision. You put a goal that's realistic. Don't go from 1,500 to 5,000. Okay. Make it realistic, doable, achievable. You set a time frame. I want to have this pay raise or this new job by September, because you're making changes in these 4 months. You're not just hanging out. September comes, okay, where's that pay raise? Well, what did you do to earn it? Nothing. You're not going to get it. You have to earn it. You have to work for it. Improve your skills. Did you get a certification? Did you learn something? What are you doing to moving your life forward so that in September, you can have that pay raise? And then in October, you can move. Okay, so you see how things start moving forward, but you've been working on it. May, June, July, August, you've been working on it. Now, down here, this is going to tell you if your goal is realistic or not. So down here, it's just a summary of everything you put above. So we added all your income. It's 2,000. So we just moved these numbers down there, 2,000. And then here's your pay raise, 2,500. Okay. So 2,000, 2,000, 2,000. Here's your 2,500. We added all the expenses. Okay. So here's, you see, 1,400. and then 1,100, 1,300, 1,000, 1,097, right? So we added all the expenses. So that's why I want it to be as accurate as possible. And then we're going to know if you have a surplus or deficit. Surplus is you have an positive number. Deficit, you're overspending. Now, I worked with one of students, and she's like, Randa, it says I have an extra $562, but I don't. And I'm like, okay, do you go to the gym? Do you do this? She's like, oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's why all these variable expenses, even gym, she forgot about that. That's a fixed expense. That's why I want you to go into your bank accounts, or why I want you to track it. So then you don't forget about those. So it turned out she didn't have an extra $562, and she knew she didn't, right? And this is a cumulative. So if you have 562 one month, and then you have an extra 829 the next month, we just add that, okay? Add that, sum 1,391, it adds that down here. Following month, if you have an extra $674, if you add these rows, right? 2,065, so it's just 2,065. So this is going to tell you what your pattern is. So for example, let's say you're, move this to 1,000, right? Sorry, back to 1,500. We upped the rent. Let's say you're like, okay, in October, I want to move and I want to get a new car. So now my car payments are going to be 500. When I move, my utilities are going to be more. Okay. So now you see, instead of having extra money at the end of the month, you're having a shortage. So now you can start playing with this and see if I model my life this way. It's called modeling. Okay. If I model, not clothes modeling, but like future projection. If I create this future projection, create this life, and if I want it to look this way, what's the outcome? Oh, I'm a little short. Okay, well, that case, I should really work on my skills so I can really get a pay raise or a new job. Okay. And I have to be tenacious. I have to keep working at it every day because I don't want a shortage. So it gives you that power that, you know what? I'm in control of my life. I'm doing this. I'm in control. That's empowering. That is empowering. So that's what I want you to do, because you are in control of your life. Okay. So believe it or not, you are. So that's where I want you to start looking. Okay. So those are goals. Now, let's talk about a goal that has a specific time frame. Okay. And how do we add those goals? So different than the goals that are going to be like a forever, your expense increase because you want to move to a different neighborhood. Okay, that's different. This is goals that have a specific deadline, a time frame. Okay, so let's talk about the cooking class. So there's two ways you can calculate this goals. Okay, you can either do it by working forward. That's option one. Or option two, you could do it by working backwards. Okay. So let's talk about what this working forward means and looking backwards. So let's start with a cooking class. We need $480 and we want it by 10/31. Okay. So this is last year. So just put a date that's 6 months in the future. Okay. From whatever today. So that's what we're working forward. We're working for a goal that's in the future. How much do we need today for that future goal? Okay. And let's say we want to go to this cooking class in 6 months. 6 months from now would be October. Okay. So you take your $480 that you need, you divide it by how many months you have from today to when you want to accomplish this goal. Let's say you want to go to the cooking class in 3 months from now. So you divide this by 3. Okay, so if this is example 6 months, so that means we need $80 a month. So you need to save $80 a month. And then in 6 months, you'll have your $480. Well, saving $80 a month, well, if you get paid every other week, that means you want it to be biweekly. Okay, so you take your $80, you divide it by 2 per paycheck, right? Divided by 2, that's $40 a paycheck. If you want to save weekly, if you get paid weekly, then you take your $80, you divide it by 4, because there's 4 weeks a month. That's $20 a week. So if you save $20 a week, that would be $80 a month. Okay, that would be $80 a month. And that would be $480 in 6 months. In 6 months, you take your 480, you go to your cooking class. So that's looking forward. I have a date that I want to accomplish this goal. That's it. It's based on a future date. Now, let's say, we're going to do the same goal, your 6 cooking classes, $480. But you're like, Randa, I don't have $20 a week to save. And how do you know that? Because you did your budget. And because you did your budget, you would know you have a surplus. Let's say this surplus, the extra, is $15. Let's say it's $115. You only want to take 15 of that, okay? Because you don't want to get yourself to zero. You always want to have a little cushion. So let's say you're like, Randa, I don't want to take $20 a paycheck a week to save for this goal. I want to only take $15 a week. So now we're going to work backwards. Instead of saying, I want to accomplish this on this date, we're going to say, what date can I accomplish it? Okay. So $15 a week. Now we're going to multiply it by 4. That means you can save $60 a month. And so we take 480, we divide it by our $60 a month. So that means in 8 months, you would be able to accomplish your goals. So this sometimes is more realistic because you're working with how much money you can save as opposed to when you need to accomplish it. Now, there's some goals you need to have the money by a certain date, and that's why option 1 works. But if there isn't a set date, option 2 might be better because you're going by a certain dollar amount, and let this dollar amount determine when you'll have your money for your goal. So that's the second. So goals, now we have goals that, future goals that are going to always happen. Every month the expense is going to be the same. For example, increasing your rent, buying a new car, right? So you don't have to save for the goal. But if there are goals that you want and you want to save for it, you have 2 options. If it's a certain date, okay, there's a certain date, then you say how much months you have from now to then, and you determine how much you're going to save. Every month, you take your $20 and you put it in. Let's see, there was a savings here. You put your $20. Okay, I'm going to start $20 here, here, right? Or you start with what you do have and you just save until you have it. And then you accomplish your goal. Then you can achieve what you want to achieve. So this is what this worksheet really is. It's a tool for you to navigate your future. That's all it is. It's just a tool for you to navigate your future. Okay, so now we understood our goals. Now here's something different. This is not a finance thing, but it's really important. So these are 12 categories. They're life categories, 12 of them. I want you to pick 3 of them. So get a piece of paper and write down 3 of them. So you're going to put, let's say, your life categories, 3 things that you want to improve your life on. So let's say it's friendship. So you're going to write down on your piece of paper 2 friendships. And let's say you want to improve your health and fitness. You're going to, the second thing you're going to write down is 5 health and fitness. And let's say you also want to improve your career. Okay, so these are 3 categories. So you write this down. So I'm going to give you a minute. Write it down. 3 things. And if you're not doing this, I'm going to show you why you should write it down. Because there's power, there's magic. I told you, there's magic. This is magic. Okay. The next thing I want you to do is pick one of these that you wrote down. Pick one of them. And I want you to write a statement, one sentence, not a paragraph, not a book, just one sentence, as if you already accomplished it and how it feels. Okay, so your sentence, so this is where the magic comes in. How it's already accomplished and how you feel. Now, why is this magical? Remember I said money is energy? And remember I said at the beginning, we're starting to shift how you feel about money and how you feel about your life. That's what we're doing. This is the shift. So let's take career. You want to improve on your career. Okay. So that was one of the 3 things. We're going to put a statement as if it's already happened and it feels good. So I love where I work. I love where I work. I love my colleagues. They make me laugh and I really become friends with them. My supervisor is so supportive and she really teaches me different skills that I need going forward. So now you described your career as if you already have it, what it is that you want and how you feel about it. You're like, yeah, I really like my job. And people are like, I hate my job. Like, no, actually, I like my job. I love where I go work. I love my colleagues. I love my supervisor. She really supports me. So that's shifting. That's what we're doing. We're shifting the way you think. We're shifting about how you want your future to look like. That's shifting. Now, this is why I wanted you to write it down and not just envision it. There was a study, and here's the link if you want to see the full study. They put people in 5 categories. And they said, okay, category 1, I want you just to think about your goals. Okay, so group 1, they were just thinking about your goals. Okay, and out of 8 people, okay, 8 people, 4.28 people achieved their goals. Now, I don't know how they determine 0.28, I don't know, but just roll with it, okay? They didn't write their goals. So maybe it's 4.28% of the people. But anyway, it's the smallest category. Group 2, they wrote their goals. Group 2 wrote their goals and they had a higher success rate on achieving those goals. Group 3, they wrote their goals and they created actions. Look at that. You guys you wrote your goals. Okay, you know where you want to go. You wrote it down. You create action. Okay, every day you're going to do a little step. And then here you created your actions. You put that, okay, October, I'm going to have increase. Then I'm going to move. Okay, you're creating action. Every day you're going to create your action. Okay, okay. Group 4, then they did everything everybody else did, but then they found a supportive friend. Okay, they shared these goals and what they're going to do to accomplish them. Now, they're going to be realistic. They're not going to say, I'm going to save $1,000 a month when they only have an extra $20 a month. Okay, so they found realistic goals, realistic actions, and they shared it with a friend. So far, this is the biggest group that accomplished their goals. But look at group 5. What did group 5 do? Now they found the supportive friend and now they reach out to them weekly. Okay, so-and-so, this week or last week, this is what I did. This week, this is what I'm going to do. That's tenacity, being tenacious. That's having grit. I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it until I accomplish it. I don't care when. There's no, it could be accomplished in a year, it could be accomplished in a week, it could be accomplished in 5 years. Doesn't matter. I'm going to keep doing it until I accomplish it. Moral of the story, find a supportive friend and share weekly progress with. And maybe it's somebody in the group. Okay, along the way. So you want to go back here and there's things along the way that is going to happen. So for example, DMV registration, you know, the registration for your car, mine happens in October, and let's say it's 300. So it doesn't, it's along the way, things that happen once a year, right? So you want to make sure you fill these in because they're not monthly. They're not every few months like the grocery. Where did they go? The grocery for the Costco. It's not every few months. It's once a year. So you want to make sure you fill these in. Okay, things along the way. I hope this helps. The secret to budgeting is that it needs to be honest. Like I said earlier, garbage in, garbage out. Not what you think it should be or what you wish it should be, could be. What it really is. That's why I want you to be as accurate as possible. It's not like, oh, well, in May, you know, we just won't go anywhere. So we just want to spend $75. Well, that's not really realistic because just to go to work, you spend $102. So be as realistic as possible. Okay. So it's not where you want to be or where you think you should be. Okay. It's what it really is. Okay, my friends, if you have any questions, because this is a recorded session, I know you can't ask them, but don't hesitate to reach out because I'm going to give you a gift because I am so happy that you guys are doing this. I want to keep supporting you along your journey, and you'll notice that all the other teachers and your mentors want to support you along your journey because we want to really see you move forward. So my gift to you is you get one, not 10, not 20 emails, just 1 hour, one-on-one with me. So it's a 1-hour session and I can answer all your questions. It could be questions related to how you fill this in. It could be questions about anything you want, anything related to finance and taxes, anything you want. And the link is here. You just click on this link and it'll take you directly to the calendar and you can schedule that. So I hope you found that helpful. I hope that was a lot of information, but I really hope that you come back to it a future because you can see there's a lot of moving parts and every time something different is going to come up. Okay, my friends, have a great one. And I hope to see you guys soon and hear wonderful success stories of what you did throughout your life to move your life forward and what that outcome was and how it looks. Have a great one.